think of when you're born, if we want to use the computer analogy, yeah. When we're born, we come in as a blank disk, blank. Yeah. The 6-month-old hasn't yet, learnt language. Because it hasn't learnt language yet, it doesn't understand or it doesn't perceive being separate from anything. It's words that do that, language that does that. Yeah. That's why, why is it we can only remember back so far? As most people go 5, 6. I can remember 4, which is unusual. I believe there's some people that can remember a little bit earlier than that, but there's a limit. It doesn't seem to matter how old we get. There's a limit to how far back we can recall. Why is that? We've just been talking about it.
Well, the only thing I could say to that was that came up 2 days ago in thought prior to the name Scott.
Yeah.
That presence awareness in that baby was there.
Yeah.
Even when you added Scott to it, it didn't change it until that child was aware. That was aware, like you said, with the memory.
I'm
that
so
became
glad.
a self.
I was just going to say, I'm so glad you're struggling trying to describe that, because you shouldn't be able to.
Yeah. Well,
And you're going to try again. Oh no, you stopped. So why can't we? Why is it we can only remember back so far? Language. That's it. With just thoughts, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Just words are the same.
Right. So it's the language that starts to create the seeming division. Yet the 6-month-old or 3-month-old lying on its back, kicking its legs and arms in the air and giggling and happy as. It's not laughing at a joke you've just cracked. Wouldn't understand that. Yet there's a joy in the 3-month-old just to be here. Just, yeah. That's your true nature. That's your actual nature. I love to be. Then we start learning language from our parents, and a seeming person then comes into being. A construct of mind, but a seeming person starts to happen. And the older we get, the further away from that uncaused joy we get. Yeah. And then we forget it. That's what Christ meant by, be childlike. Childlike. Like, what are kids like? They're just so in the present moment and everything, like they're just awestruck with everything. They pick stuff up and they're looking at it, and and I'm describing me now. It's profoundly beautiful. So yes, stay with the I am and observe from there. I sometimes refer to that as being in the box seat, which is the best seat in the house. You're in the best seat in the house. To come to see this, you're in the best seat. Just observe from there what is happening.
I have to, it seems that I have to Even though it's present all that time, um, recognize that that's what's going on.
Yeah, look, all you've got to
Me,
do, I sometimes refer it to abide here. Yeah. And the I am is pointing to this.
yes.
Yeah. That needs to be fully experienced. That needs to come to life. Yeah. And as you, the more you start to see the fabrication of the mind, the content of the mind, the more you start to see that, just naturally, the less interested you are in it. It just happens. Yeah. Then all of a sudden there's a curiosity about, oh, what's this? Yeah. And you're just more interested in kind of delving into that or marinating in that, as Peggy said. Yeah. But the pointer to that is I am. So if there's going to be any thoughts, hopefully that's the primary one and the most important one. Yeah. Because that's true. I am. Everything else after that is nonsense.
At this point, it seems that effort is needed to, it seems that way. Intellectually, I know that's not true,
Yeah.
but it seems that way. But as I walk and just like I said, the senses, and realize that they're on all the time,
Yeah.
like that little baby, they're
Yeah.
on.
Yep.
There's no Scott that has to turn it on. It's on.
And even when you're walking, Scott is not walking that body. That needs to be seen. It's quite fascinating. Like when you start to see what's actually really happening, it'll blow your mind.
The only way that that's seen now is when I go back to the child before I was named Scott, that was already there.
Yeah.
So
The beingness
nothing Scott could have done through his whole life, father, grandfather, son, could have happened had not that presence awareness been prior to the name Scott. So the actual character Scott never has done anything.
Yep.
Intellectually. So I just stay with the I am and let it reveal.
Yeah. That's it. Like keep it simple. I know you've heard that before, right? Keep it simple.
And that's simple.
Yeah, if this was complicated, if this was really, really complicated, we'd have worked it out by now. And if we hadn't worked it out by now, somebody else would have worked it out. Look at Kelly. Somebody else would have worked it out and told us the formula. If this was a complicated thing that just kind of needed to be worked out, yeah, I'd be able to tell you the formula now. I would. But it's not complicated. It's so incredibly simple. And I laugh because how we miss this, look at Kelly, how we miss this is unbelievable. How we miss this. It's like, I never understood that until I realized. I never really understood that. There's always the me here, you know. I'm trying to get this and need to practice a bit. I need to work this out, you know. A little bit more knowledge will help, you know, which is all rubbish. You know? Then you kind of wake up and you go, how do we miss this? Oh my God. It's it's unbelievable. So yeah, look, great, Scotty. Just stay with the I am, man. Stay there. Stay. stay with that. It's the only truth you know. It's the only one, or the only fact. I am. You can't say I'm not. You'd have to be there to say it. I am. Just stay with that, which is pointing to that childlike beingness that you experienced before words dominated or mind started to dominate.
One last thing. I am Scott requires me to add the Scott to the I am.
Yeah.
So it's plain.
Yeah.
The I am must come first.
Yeah. Stay with the I am only. Drop the Scott. Any stories that come up after the I am, drop it. Stay with, you've got to keep asking yourself, what is this I am pointing to? It's a pointer. Because it's still two words, I am. But it's a pointer, but it's such a sharp one.
Just it's pointing to the presence awareness.
That's, yeah, good. Good, that's enough.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Stay there.